The Champions League round of 16 is here with some insane games. And even though these fixtures are still more than 3 months and a whole World Cup away, so it's basically impossible to predict the outcome yet, but that is exactly what we're gonna do right now in this video. Round of 16 prediction, baby, and obviously I'm wearing the perfect fit for that. Also moved apartment, so this is my new video studio. Let me know what I should put in the background. So far we have the OG Footybase logo, this baby right here, and my signed Ronaldo shirt from Madeira. I don't know about this one yet. So give me your suggestions in the comments, but let's get to the games now. And this might actually be my toughest prediction video so far. First of all, Leipzig against Manchester City. Can we say El Plastico? Well, that's not the two teams with the biggest history in the UCL, to say the least. Both of them gaining success over the last decade, but they are both stacked with quality. And honestly, on paper, it looks like a pretty favorable draw for Pep, Haaland and co. But I'm not too sure about that, because Leipzig obviously started the season very, very slow. But under the new manager Marco Rose, they're climbing up the Bundesliga table. They're also doing better and better in the Champions League. After all, only 1 point behind Real Madrid in the group stages. And so, you know, in this game, if Leipzig put up a tactical masterclass, I don't say it's impossible for them to beat Man City. Not at all. We cannot rule them out. And just like with pretty much all of these fixtures, it will come down to the current momentum in mid-February, which obviously I cannot know right now. But on the day of the draw, I'm still gonna go with a rational, logical prediction. Man City are gonna do it, but it's gonna be close. We remember last season when these two faced. First game, City won 6-3 with an Nkunku hat-trick, and the second game then Leipzig even beat City. I expect a lot of goals, to be honest, but for me right now I say Man City advance. And I'm gonna try to go to that game in Leipzig, which is the first leg, I think. The second one, Club Brugge against Benfica. The fact that Benfica only managed to get this game because they scored that last minute 6-1 against Maccabi, which sent them on top of Group H and PSG on second, is honestly incredible, because otherwise they would have got Bayern. And I don't want to underestimate Club Brugge here, but it's still a big quality gap between them and Bayern. So I think this is the game where I'm actually most sure right now in November 2022 who will advance in February. Roger Schmidt's Benfica are on another level this season. As of right now, they haven't lost a single game, topped that UCL group. With all due respect to Club Brugge, who are an underdog as well, we didn't expect them to go through there in that group, but Benfica are going to, should I say roll over them? I would probably be a little bit too much, but they are going to advance without big difficulties, in my opinion. It's actually weird that the game where I'm most confident who will go through is a team that most people didn't even expect to make the round of 16 in the first place. I can proudly say I said it. Even though I love Juventus, I said that Benfica will go through and not Juventus. Can't say I'm happy about it, but you have to be realistic. And my realistic prediction is that Benfica will also go to the last 8. And the next one is no less than the revival of the Champions League final 2022. Liverpool against Real Madrid. How crazy is that? This is one of 2 games in this round of 16 where we have 2 elite teams facing each other so early on. And if we're being fully rational, I say since that Champions League final in May, Real Madrid have gotten better while Liverpool have gotten worse. Very inconsistent this season, but in such a Champions League knockout stage game, consistency doesn't really matter. You just have to be there on 2 occasions, home game and away game. And Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp is made for these European knockout games. They live for those games. The atmosphere is crazy in those games. The fans value these games way more than the Premier League. So the fact that they're inconsistent this season also at the same time makes them unpredictable. They could very well lose 4-0 against Madrid, but at the same time they could also win 4-0. That's the beauty with Liverpool Football Club, especially this season. This is so tough. My rational brain says Real Madrid, but my stomach says Liverpool. I will say Liverpool. Sometimes you have to go for your gut feeling, and this is it right now. But I know this will cause a lot of controversy. Let me know in the comments who you pick. And next up, we have Milan against Tottenham. Conte returning to Italy, if he's still Tottenham manager by then. While the Italian champions made the UCL knockout stages for the first time in almost a decade, I think. And based on quality, can't say one is better than the other, honestly. These are really equally balanced. And this will be an amazing tie, but I will go for Milan. Yeah, probably the fact that it's still Antonio Conte in the Champions League, and these two, they don't like each other too much. No, they're not the best friends, never been. First half of the game's done, and the second half starts with, in terms of fans, probably my favorite fixture, the crazy Eintracht Frankfurt against possibly the biggest surprise of the season so far, Napoli. I already issued my official apology letter to Napoli because I said they're not gonna do anything this season in the league. Well, I did predict them to go through in the Champions League at least, but I really didn't think they'd be this this dominant, topping the group ahead of Liverpool. While Frankfurt have also enjoyed an incredible rise over the last years, from barely surviving relegation to Bundesliga 2 in 2016, to then winning the DFB Pokal in 2018, Europa League semi-final in 2019, winning the Europa League in 2022, and now being in the Champions League for the first time in 62 years or something? Yeah, 1960, they were in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. That was the only time in their history in this competition so far. Second time, instantly made the knockout stages again. We don't even have to talk about their fans. Best in Germany for me. And on European away days, in my opinion, also the best in the whole of Europe. Yes, I said it. And that is pushing the team so much, because without the fans, they wouldn't have made it out of this crazy Group D. But now they're here against Napoli. And to be honest, based on squad quality, Napoli is better. Their attack is simply amazing. Quaradonna, Osimhen, Simeone, Raspadori. In the back, the Korean defender Kim. What a signing. Already talked about all this. So based on pure logic, rational quality, Napoli are the better side. They should be advancing there, also given their recent form. Yes, Frankfurt are playing a great season too, but it's not comparable to Napoli. But then on the other hand, Frankfurt's team wasn't comparable to Barca, to West Ham probably not, to so many that they have already beaten last season in the Europa League, which was all due to their spirit, their passion, their fans. It's gonna be one hell of a clash, and I will be trying to go to that Frankfurt game against Napoli, if it's possible in any way. Yeah, you can tell I'm passionate about this fixture, but I have to pick a winner now. I will go with... I just took like 10 minutes to think about this again. It's gonna be Napoli. I could very well be proven wrong there, but here I'm going for the sheer football quality. Frankfurt are the kings of surprising European journeys, but I think it's already been a crazy journey for them to even make the knockouts of the Champions League. So let's leave it at that. Frankfurt, I would love to see you go all the way, win the Champions League, but my brain says it's going to be Napoli. And next up, we have another German team against another English team. Dortmund against Chelsea. Same thing, guys. Who can predict that? But here I kind of have a feeling that Dortmund have now found their chemistry, found their form for the season. They finally put Modest on the bench. Moukoko up front is doing amazing for his age. He's just turning 18 now. They will hopefully, let's pray, have Sebastian Haller back then. He's gonna be such a valuable addition up front. And as of right now, I don't really think Chelsea have what it takes to really go far in the Champions League this season. Graham Potter, cool manager. I think he needs some time to settle though. Their goal should be a top 4 finish in the Premier League. And I think Dortmund, after missing out on the knockout stages at all last season and failing in Europe, this year I see them making top 8 again. For me, close one, very close. Don't really expect many goals there either, but I say Dortmund. This could be another game that I might be able to watch. We have 2 games left now. Let's talk about Inter against Porto. It's actually crazy how Inter finished, I think, 8 points behind Bayern, but still managed to get Porto, with all due respect, while Bayern got an opponent that we're going to talk about later, which I see a little bit stronger. So on paper, this should be a feasible game for Inter, right? Porto are good, but they're not the best team in Portugal, while Inter should have the ambition to be the best team in Italy. With the squad that they have, it's simply the goal for them. And so they will also aim to be the best performing team in Italy in the Champions League. And based on quality, they should beat Porto. What if I tell you, I don't think they will do it. I do not see Inter as good as they were last season, and especially the season before that when they won the Scudetto. This season, something's missing. I don't know. Lukaku isn't getting fit really. They're lacking something. Also in Serie A, it's not really working out yet. So I do think that Porto will beat them. And that would mean we have 2 Portuguese teams in the last 8, according to my predictions. And honestly, I would love that. Non-top 5 league doing so well, defying the odds. I kind of feel it's gonna happen. And so we've saved up an absolute banger game for our last prediction. That is no less than Bayern against PSG. We had it in the group stages 17-18. We had it in the final 2020, quarter-final 2021. Several times in the last years, these 2 giants have faced each other with different outcomes, really. Bayern lifted the Champions League against PSG in the quarter-final 2021. PSG went through though, knocking out Bayern. And at this point, PSG are probably better than they were in all of the last years. Can we say that? I think they've really found some good chemistry. A proper manager with Galtier, who doesn't only line up the names, but he's also an amazing tactician. Yes, they do have weaknesses, which was being shown by the fact that they couldn't beat Benfica in 2 games. And they weren't insanely dominant in the group stages. But they're still, in my opinion, a main contender for that Champions League trophy. Messi finally finding his form again. But then you have that Bayern side, who started the season slowly, 2023 with a lot of draws in the Bundesliga. People were roasting them, criticizing them, saying Nagelsmann, hey, he's too young to coach them. He's not a good enough of a manager yet. They can't do shit without Lewandowski. But honestly, over the last weeks, they've proven that all to be a pure myth. In the Champions League, they were never in doubt, winning all of their 6 games. Now also on top of the Bundesliga again. Right now, Bayern are in elite form, and I don't want to make this longer than it has to be. I see this as a 55 to 45 game in terms of win probability. So very, very close, but in favor of the Bavarians. Yeah, Bayern are winning the Choupo-Moting derby. The man made everyone forget about Lewandowski. Let that sink in. So here we have the best of the best, the last 8, the quarterfinalists of the Champions League 2022-2023. According to me. You can decide how much that's worth, but for me, we're getting 2 English teams, 2 German teams, 2 Italian teams, and 2 Portuguese teams. This would make for an amazing balance of leagues, and I can see it happening. Now it's your turn. Let me know which 8 teams will go to the last 8, who will be in the quarterfinal according to you. Do you think my predictions make any sense, or do you say, oh, Fiago, you're talking the usual shit again? Well, we won't know until February, but we can already discuss. I'm looking forward to that healthy, exciting debate in the comments, and we're gonna have some fun looking back at this video in February after the round of 16. Prediction Fiago is out. See you during the World Cup. Peace.